Throughout the Bible, dreams were used to either warn somebody of something or to show them what to do and how to prepare for the future. And I think they're really important sometimes. I know dreams can be very random and some mean really pretty much nothing, but occasionally you have a dream that means something. And I've had two of those types of dreams, and I wanted to share both of them and kind of how they tie together and what that means as far as our direction and where we're headed. So I'm going to start by sharing my first dream. And it happened at a time when I was young. I was 17. I was just experiencing the Father's love, how to pray, convictions, all these things for the very first time, how to look at women, how to do so many things that are so hard for many of us to figure out. And it was a challenging time. If you can recall, if you have ever been a teenager, if you're old enough to have been a teenager and survived it, it's quite the journey. You have a lot of hormones and things and temptations. And I was in the heat of it. I was tempted and just trying to turn down temptation over and over and over. And one time I had walked away from a situation and said, I've got to get away. The temptation's too strong. And I went somewhere as far away from the person as I could get and just laid there and tried to pray and fell asleep. And at the time that I was sleeping, I felt like I had literally just closed my eyes, almost like I was having a vision, but was sleeping. And as I'm sleeping, as soon as I fall asleep, I find myself in my house. And I'm standing up in the living room. The area was lit as if it was late evening, like the sun's just going down. Everything was sort of a light blue color. And as I'm standing there, I hear a knock at the door. 3 knocks. And I start moving towards the door. And as I'm moving towards the door, it opens. And I can see this figure, this person that is clothed in light. You couldn't see any details of a face or what clothes they were wearing. It's like they were literally wearing light for clothes. Not a super bright light that you can't stare at, but a light bluish white kind of light. And they were wearing it almost like one of those Van Gogh paintings, how he does his brush strokes. But they were wearing light. And as I'm looking at this person and seeing them, I can see behind them the same types of figures running back and forth, going different directions as if they were on a mission to go somewhere, to spread some sort of message. And this being looks at me and says simple words that I could understand, and it was more spiritual. It was like I knew what he was thinking and he knew what I was thinking. So I knew what he was telling me, and he just asked me, "Are you ready?" And I looked at him and I knew that he meant something different than just, am I ready to go to the store? Like spiritually, are you ready for the return of the Messiah? Are you ready to basically fight in a battle? And so I stopped for a second and I thought, am I ready? Am I ready for the battles to come? Am I ready for the return of the Messiah? I knew with his voice that it was urgent. Time is running out. Are you ready? And after my hesitation, I thought about all the stuff I'd been doing, all the praying I'd been doing and fleeing temptation, all of those things. And I looked up, and after hesitating, I said, yes, I'm ready. And he very sternly said, well, go and get everyone else ready. And just like that, I started thinking about all the people that needed to be ready, all those who were just distracted and caught up in this world. But my mom came to my mind for some reason. She'd been going through a lot spiritually and financially and just the stress of life. And I thought about her, and I turned around looking for her, and I said, Mom! And I woke up. And when I woke up, that dream just really shook me to the core. I really knew it meant something. I didn't know what. And I'd been going to this one little out in the country, out in the sticks kind of church. Wasn't a churchgoer as we were raised, but my teenage years, I got very fortunate enough that my uncle, who had just been saved and came out of alcoholism and stuff, was bringing us. Well, I asked the preacher, what does this mean? This is the dream I've had. What does it mean? And he said, it means you need to preach. Well, I am the shyest guy in that room, or in almost any room that I'm in. I'm pretty shy, and at that time, and so I thought, good Lord, why would you choose me? Why would you choose someone so shy to do something like this if I'm supposed to get up in front of people and speak? Because that's at that point what I believed that dream meant. Well, I tried to do that. I tried to speak in front of people, and it was a disaster. I couldn't. It was so hard to focus, even though I felt like I was ready to do it. It just, fear got the best of me at first, and it wasn't until the very end that it kind of went okay. And by then, people were falling asleep. So I was like, I don't think this is what I'm supposed to do. I really don't. But lost track of that dream, even though it was always in the back of my mind, like be ready, get everybody ready. I put it off. I had a lot of goals that I wanted to accomplish, and that was sort of not one of them. And so lots of stuff happened within that time from, the year that happened until about 2008 when I had my first miracle. But here recently, I had another dream. It's been a few months now. I haven't shared this with anybody else other than my wife and my close family. But I had another dream similar to that. And it ties together beautifully. And the dream starts out, I'm on the water on some sort of ship, and I don't know where it's headed, but it's very relaxing. It's a beautiful day. People around me, I don't know any of them, but I'm just at peace. I'm on this boat, I'm safe. And then out of nowhere, disaster. This boat or ship breaks, and most of us end up in this water. And the water was ice cold. People were scrambling, trying to get out. You just know that if you don't get out of that water, you're going to die of hypothermia. It's very cold. And so I can just see the hands moving really fast, people splashing, screaming. And in the distance, I can hear a mother crying out for her son. I get emotional thinking about this. And she's crying out for her son, and she's speaking Spanish. But I could understand she's crying for her son. He's drowning. She wants someone to save him. And so, my instincts kick in. I'm following the crowd. Everyone's swimming towards the shore. It's quite a ways away, about a quarter mile or half mile away, but I can see it. I'm swimming for it. I want to get out of that water. I want to be saved. But as I'm swimming, I could hear this lady, and I'm thinking, why is no one trying to save her son? But I make it to the shore with everybody else, and I could see somehow there's already medical staff giving people warm blankets, wrapping them up, and I'm like, that's where I want to go. I want to get help and make sure that I'm alive. As I'm walking up there and seeing everyone getting their warm blankets and, recovering, I can still hear this mother crying out for her son. And I'm a good ways away from the water. I look out at the water, and I could see just the upper half of this young man's head sticking out of the water. And he's starting to sink. And this mother's crying, and I'm thinking, there's people all around. People are looking at this guy, watching him drown from the shoreline. Nobody wants to jump in the water to save this poor kid. And I know that if I go back in there, I'm probably going to die of hypothermia because I've just barely made it out. And the Father tells me, go. Well, this is tough because I'm kind of in that situation I was in as a teenager. Why me? Why me? Why would you choose me? There's people who have not been in this water, standing there on the shore, perfectly warm. They could jump in there and save this guy. Why me? He just tells me calmly, just go. Go save him. So I'm going towards the water. I'm watching him go in the water. The water is dark. It's murky water. You can't barely see your hand in front of your face once you're in it. So I'm running down towards the water, praying that he'll just protect me from that cold water, because without his protection, I would die. So I jump in the water. This time the water actually feels warm. I could not feel the coldness of the water. And I'm thinking, how am I going to find this guy in the water? And I hear that same calm voice that I've heard many times. Reach out your hand. So I reached out my hand. And as my hand's reaching out, I can see through the murky water, a hand comes up and grabs my hand as if it was guided toward me as well. And then the thought crosses my mind, how am I going to get this person out of the water and onto the dock that's sitting here behind me? The dock was a couple feet out of the water. How am I going to get them up there? I don't have the strength to lift them out of this water without me sinking down to the bottom and put them up there. And that's when that guidance and that power that I felt before that's not my own came over me. And just by holding his hand, I was able to lift him up out of the water and easily put him on that dock to safety. And after I did that and thought, it's good, I've saved him, I hear that guidance, reach out your hand again. And as I listened and followed what he was telling me to do and reached out my hand, another one came. And I thought, surely there's no more left in this water to save. But I reached out my hand again. Same thing happened. Put him on the dock. Again and again and again. It just kept happening. The people were coming in multitudes. And it was a very beautiful ending. The mother who had been praying for her child, wanting him to be saved, was delivered, and so were many more because of that. The dream wouldn't have touched me as much as it did had it not been interpreted the next day by my dad, because it's actually something that's going on right now. And I believe you know who you are. And it's time to reach out your hand. In this sea that is murky, these waters you can't see through very well, there is great clarity if you just follow that voice. That still, calm voice, the one that loves you and wants you to be saved and picked up out of these waters that so many are perishing in. This sea of lies that everyone seems to get caught up in, distracted, and just meet their fate. You are not one of those. And just by simply reaching out your hand, and many people will see this miracle that happens with you. They are going to come to the Father like you have never seen before. It's powerful. The enemy has been trying to stop this from happening since the beginning. The power of the Father's hands need to be used. And it's through faith, which means trust. You have to say those words. I trust you. Because the Father wants to heal you. You have to trust Him. He loves you a lot more than you've been told. Many are experiencing this love, and it's so far better than the short-term pleasures of this world, than any material gain you could have. It's addicting. When you walk away from it, you can feel it. That deep void creeps in very quickly. And the enemy's voice, the condemnation, all those things that try to keep you away from Him, silence them. Go back. The Father, the Creator of everything, He loves you. And He's united all of us to share that love and to stop the divisions. There's always divisions. That's the enemy's game. You want to know his game? Look at what he does. Look at the different church signs around. Look at all the different titles. Divide and conquer is the goal. Politics, sporting teams, you name it, there's a division everywhere you look. It's time to unite, guys. There's a lot of work to be done, and for those of you who have had similar dreams, I would love to hear and see exactly what you're going through, because chances are some of you are having similar dreams. In these last days, that's going to happen. Visions, dreams, prophecy. We have some prophecies that have been fulfilled in our lifetime that caught me off guard when I was younger, around that age that I was telling you, a little bit younger, a few years younger. And they didn't come true until after that first dream that I had. But I know this is a little different than what we normally share, but I've been wanting to share more testimonies and more things like that. I'm going to get together with my brother pretty soon, and we will definitely give you some information that'll let you know why we're a little different, why we are like we are. We weren't raised religious or anything like that. But we've experienced some things that have shown us 100% that the Father is definitely not who we're told. He's a far greater. And no matter what you believe about creation or this earth, how old it is, what shape it is, we need to unite. I thank you guys for your continued support in these last days, especially with the censorship and persecution that's going on. The shadow ban is for real. We get about 1 comment to 3 comments per day now, unless we upload a video. I'm not here for likes and all of that. We're here to see stuff shared. A lot of work's to be done. For me to reach out my hand into those waters is a lot of work. We're going to be going after those and doing things that aren't comfortable for us. Jumping into cold water is not comfortable for many people. We got to get out of our comfort zone. Don't force things. Follow that voice. Trying to force things is where we end up causing more of a divide. If someone's not ready, like they said, walk away. Go on to the next ones. Okay? Time is definitely running out. Someone said that to me not long after I woke up to all this stuff is, well, you know, if we're figuring this out now, the end game is coming rather quickly. They've got some sort of plans. There's always a plan. Seems like their plan has been well known for a while because of the predictive programming going back as far as it does. But don't have fear. We have great power when we believe and when we unite. Darkness cannot stand where light is. We're out of its jurisdiction. But you have to not leave an open door. Don't leave a crack for the enemy to come in. Keep up that shield at all times. It's a shield of faith. That's what it is. A shield of trust. You trust the Father. You know He's with you whenever you go somewhere into battle. You're going to be okay. So keep that shield handy. Know that the Father's with you. And be prepared to get out of your comfort zone. Because this world is not a comfortable place right now. You're walking down a narrow path and you're watching many perish. So keep on the full armor of God and know that you are a beloved creation of the Most High.